Hey, it's Comic Artist Pro Secrets, and I'm Ethan Van Sciver, and it's one more day of being absolutely flabbergasted by the way Disney slash Lucasfilm is behaving towards the fans and the people who love Star Wars and who would pay their bills if only Disney would not be so grossly offensive with the Star Wars franchise. Here we have a story from the BBC just an hour ago. Star Wars firm Lucasfilm must pay filmmaker over quote-unquote failed Darth Vader screening. Look at this gentleman's face. Look at him. That is a man bereft. That is a man standing in front of like at least 3-4 Doctor Who's. Why do they still have phone booths in London? I don't really understand. But they do. I guess it's just iconic. Anyway, look at him. Look at his little face. He's like, yeah, I wanted to make a movie and the mouse wouldn't let me. This is Mark John. He was claiming 1.35 million pounds in compensation from Lucasfilm after it pulled the plug on his plans for a Star Wars fan film. He's like, I'm a fan. How could they do this to me? Let's find out what his complaint is. A filmmaker who sued Star Wars producers Lucasfilm for blocking plans to make a film about Darth Vader has won almost 39,500 pounds in damages. That's about Is that $100,000? Maybe it's close to $100,000. Mark John, age 46, of Buckinghamshire, claimed he was stopped from beaming a live interview with actor David Prowse to 1,200 cinemas. He claims the film would have made about $3 million, with his share worth 1.35 million pounds. Oh, 3 million pounds, I'm sorry. American here. He wanted to do an interview with David Prowse. Now, David Prowse is the man who wore the Darth Vader suit. Now, I've met David Prowse quite a few times. One time he came over to me and he cursed out Christopher Reeve, and I had to tell him to get the fuck away from my table. And this is a true story. Came over to my table. I had a Superman print. He said, "You a big Superman fan?" He had a cane and everything. I was like, yeah, I love Superman. He's like, Christopher Reeve, he was Superman. I said, yeah, he was. He said, he was a real son of a bitch. And I was like, what? And he goes, yeah, I trained him. I was a trainer, and he was a skinny little guy. He got the Superman role, and I built him up. I gave him muscle. I trained him in the gym. Once he was Superman, did he return any of my calls? Nope. And he started cursing out Christopher Reeve. I said, you got to go. Christopher Reeve is one of my heroes, along with Han Solo, Harrison Ford. But I'm not going to hold that against Mark John here, who wanted to interview David Prowse and make a little money from a documentary about Darth Vader for 1,200 cinemas. 1,200 cinemas, that's a lot. A high court judge ruled Mr. John could have made the film, but for Lucasfilm's interference. Mr. John, of Thornley Close, Aylesbury, claimed the Darth Vader interview and other scenes from For the Love of the Force Star Wars convention in Manchester would have netted him a 7-figure sum. Look at these words, for the love of the Force. These are the real fans. These are the real fans, and they're being stymied at every turn. It would have been broadcast in December 2015, just prior to the release of Star Wars The Force Awakens, when anticipation and hype for the franchise was, quote, sky high, the legal team said. Oh, there's David Prowse right there. And there he is with a Darth Vader. Yeah. I assume David Prowse would have gotten a little bit of money out of this, too, and that would have been a good thing for him. Shane Sybil from Mr. John told the High Court Lucasfilm's lawyers contacted the organizers of the convention and threatened to sue them unless they backed out of an agreement to let Mr. John film there. Why? What's the problem? Mr. John accused California-based Lucasfilm Limited LLC and Lucasfilm Entertainment Company LLC of unlawfully inducing a breach of contract when they shut down his plan. Lucasfilm denied any wrongdoing and criticized Mr. John's claim as, quote, extraordinarily speculative. He wanted to make a little movie, and you told him he couldn't, or you would sue him. This just isn't nice. This isn't good fan treatment here. Far from making millions, he would have been lucky to turn a profit, the company insisted. Jeez, then leave him alone. What is it? Judge Veronique Burelin, Burelin, QC ruled, I have come to the conclusion, on the balance of probabilities, that Mr. John would have made a film of the convention but for Lucasfilm's interference. That is correct. There was a real prospect that Mr. John's film would have been shown on 150 screens, and but for Lucasfilm's interference, he would have made, quote, a small profit. The judge ordered Lucasfilm to pay Mr. John a total of £39,504 in damages, money they can't afford because they can't sell those gigantic AT-AT figures or those children's 1/3 scale sand speeder vehicles at Toys R Us. So, yeah, this is just, I mean, they're just destroying everything in the world. They've taken down Toys R Us, and they memed themselves by not letting this guy just do his little fan documentary about Darth Vader. What is the problem? What exactly would be the problem? I mean, look, he could have done this footage, and it could have ended up as a bonus feature on The Force Awakens Blu-ray. You could have paid him for it like gentlemen, and instead, look at his face. This is a man who was hoping to make £1.3 million, and instead he was given a pittance. At least he got something, though, from SJW, Disney, Star Wars, Lucasfilm, that whole conglomerate, out to crush the little guy, to utterly destroy Star Wars. They bought it to kill it, and to take any fan who might have a dream of expressing his fandom and, yeah, ruin him, utterly ruin him. Good job. Another fine day for SJW Star Wars. It's no secret at all that I couldn't do this channel if it wasn't for support from you, my subscriber base, and my Patreon donors. If you'd like to join this community by pledging $1 or more per month, go check out the link in the description below. And I thank you.